Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Last few runs have been pretty fun. We've gone in some contentious issues that probably are not that contentious. G0MB SWAR. SWAR. My favorite Scandinavian ABBA metal band. Yes, I understand that ABBA's not metal, but isn't starting a band with your neighbors and your neighbor's spouse the most metal thing of all time? No? Okay, it turns out that actually it's something to do with guitars. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought metal was a state of mind. I actually don't know anything about metal. I thought metals were the leftmost 6 columns on the periodic table of elements. We have a great run here. In case that is not clear, I do want to tab quickly here just to see if I have made the same mistake I've made like 10 times in a row. Is this an XL floor? It is, which is important to know early, because I want to not take red heart damage. I mean, you could say like you want to not take red heart damage in any situation, but let me construct a metaphor for you. It's like, you know, being in class. You know, I use this as an analogy all the time because I think there's, you know, a lot of flexibility and polymorphism there, but I think there's also, you know, it's easy to relate to. I think we're going to go look for a spirit heart first, just so maybe we could have the ability to take 2 deals with the devil, for example, instead of just 1. But, what's your goal in class? Well, you know, some people might go in with just the goal to pass. Some people might go in, you know, I want to get 100, you know? But ostensibly, your goal is to not get anything wrong that you don't have to. But sometimes, you know, it's just a quiz, it's worth 2% of your mark. Oh, it's just a, you know, homework assignment, it's worth, you know, 0.2% of your mark, etc., etc. Sometimes it takes a serious situation to really incentivize, you know, fulfilling the goal that you have put out for yourself. And the goal that ooh, that's really good. The goal that I put out for myself here is getting that first deal with the devil. And I think that's going to be of pivotal importance for us here. Now that we have golden bombs, we do have a tinted rock. Worst case scenario, at this point, that gives us a golden chest. Which would be bad, as long as we don't have a key. Now that we have keys, it's less bad, of course. But really, we're just trying to find a spirit heart here. That's actually really good. Sagittarius gives us a speed upgrade, so we could, if we wanted to, get rid of the goat hoof and maybe go with swallowed penny instead. But I don't think that that's going to be advisable, strictly speaking. Goat hoof is still like a pretty solid trinket overall. You can go back like, you know, 2 years ago. But goat hoof's stupid. Speed is the worst stat in the game. How stupid we all once were, but mostly me. Alright. So we already had like a form of piercing shots in the form of Polyphemus, but I really feel like... Oh no. I screwed it up. Small Rock's amazing, though. I really feel like Sagittarius even takes Polyphemus to the next level, because our full damage Polyphemus shots are piercing now, not just, you know, whatever damage is left over. So we get 2 of diamonds. I don't necessarily want to go too deep on this. I'm now running it in my head. I'm like, well, if we get the 2 of diamonds, we can get unlimited money. But do I really care about unlimited money? What I do care about is Diplopia. So I think we'll grab all of this, 2 of diamonds, buy Diplopia, get a spirit heart, and at this point, like, I'm really just trying to make Diplopia, better. I'm trying to use it better than I've used it in the past, and I really have been guilty of using Diplopia very, very shittily. In a way, I'm flattered that a bad Diplopia play is enough to, like, make people frustrated in a video, because we've come a long way from, you know, losing 50% of our runs to like, well, you won, but your Diplopia play wasn't good. But still, you know, it's a constant quest for, you know, introspection and self-improvement in a game that we have dedicated ourselves to. So I don't want to just be like, you know, it was good enough. Let's continue to make it better while preserving that which is, you know, emblematic of the series to begin with. Probably should just be using actual tears, because at least, you know, I can hit with those. There we go. We did get a deal with the devil, undeservedly. Old bandage is fine. We'll probably take both here. Contract from Below and the Mark, both solid enough when we have decent HP, especially when we've got more HP coming on the next floor. And now I think we've got a really good bead on Diplopia Boss Rush. Or Diplopia for the chest, but Boss Rush a little faster, especially if we get 4 items in there. I think that it's already relatively worth it. Alright, so this is actually an exceptionally good run. Anytime you can kill a champion... Well, I guess we're not killing the champions in one hit, but if you can kill a human popcorn and the spider it spawns in one hit, especially on the 3rd dang floor, your run is going pretty well. So there's really, you know, only very minor complaints I can offer here. And actually, even when it comes to minor complaints, I have nothing. Normally you'd be like, well, we got Polyphemus, so our rate of fire is pretty bad. But actually, like, our rate of fire is really acceptable. Not the best I've ever seen, but certainly not as bad as it could be, given that Polyphemus, like, drastically lowers your rate of fire. Don't really care if we get hit here. It's not catastrophic. It would be better not to, but... Get another deal with the devil, and a mom item. Curse of the Blind is really, like, the ideal time. Ah, crap. Yo, no, nobody ever says crud anymore. What happened to that? Is that, like, a swear word that's only used by 6-year-olds? Crud? What is it? Can someone explain to me what the deal with the word frig is? Because I started using that. It entered my lexicon in the 4th grade or so. And I used it because I wanted to be cool, but right, we've already been there. I wanted to be cool, but when you're in the 4th grade, you can't just go around, you know, fuck this, fuck that, you know? I get that it's just a word, but at the same time, you know, if you can't stop your kid from saying fuck in the 4th grade, like, who you gotta stop taking parenting lessons from, Louis C.K. or something. Well, actually, he seems like he's a dedicated father, but in any case, wow, secret room access. And I, you know, I said it because it's an analog for fuck, but it's not the word itself, which somehow makes it okay. But then one time, I said frig in front of my parents, and they, like, laughed at me, which is the... If I'd gotten in trouble for it, I would have been like, you know what, that's acceptable, maybe I'm not supposed to be saying that word, I'll take my punishment. But instead, they laughed at me like the way you laugh at a dog trying to walk on its hind legs. It's like, you know, see, honey, he thinks he's human. It was demoralizing. And maybe has played a pivotal role into me turning into the curmudgeon you see before you today. We have bricked it up a little on this floor, but no major concerns in the present moment. A Curse of the Blind is just annoying to begin with. Oh, game almost crashed there. That was weird. I don't know, I've been having... It must be a my computer issue. Been having some performance-related concerns lately. Plus, my game's not running right. Hi-oh! A joke about sexual inadequacy. That's what I like to cultivate on my show. Would you like to sponsor me? Jokes about sexual inadequacy. Okay, it's just going too far now. Anarchist Cookbook. Garbage. Strength card. Potentially useful. Lover's card. Basically garbage. Alright, well, I mean, we got Butterbean, Mom's Lipstick, Lump of Coal, and future access to libraries, potentially, as a result of the Anarchist Cookbook pickup. But apart from that, pretty, you know, janky floor here. What I'm trying to get at with that, like, cussing or cursing point there is just that, you know, they are just words. But why don't we never get to the root of the words? Like, it's okay for a small child to say darn. We know the emotion is universal. That kid wants to say God damn it. We're like, you can't say that until you turn 16, honey. It's the most weirdly arbitrary thing. Why don't we treat the disease instead of the symptoms, man? We should be like, hey, don't get so freaking angry at All-Star Baseball 99. You know, Larry Walker's on the cover. His stats are out of control. You shouldn't be that cheesed off that, you know, the late 90s Blue Jays are getting smoked by his Colorado Rockies. Should treat the anger instead of the results of the anger. Not that I don't get angry at video games from time to time. Goddamn mid-range shaman players. It doesn't even tell you the deck pilots itself. Freaking garbage. Oh, Chewbacca, okay. Odd Mushroom. Actually, weirdly enough, I'm kind of stoked about Odd Mushroom because I think it gets me closer to, well, I don't think it gets me closer to, it definitely gets me closer to Fungi, and we could almost use the extra HP from the Fungus transformation right now, but that's actually why I'm playing this Judgment as well, because I'm a little freaked out. I think that I have a bead on what our HP looks like right now. It should be, well, now I think we're at 2.5 hearts. Yeah, and now we should be at 3. But we've lost our Spirit Hearts and probably our chance at a deal with the Devil here. And that sucks as well. But I'm not going to get into like a, you know, defeatist line of reasoning or anything like that. This is still a really, really good run. And even poor play is unlikely to really catastrophically impact it here. For now. Hagalaz. So we're hoping for like 4 runes that are awesome to use on this room, and then 1 that's awesome to take. Awaz is awesome to use on this room. Perthro can be taken. Awaz, hoping for a black market maybe. Nope. Perthro, Hagalaz. And a luck down pill. So we'll take Perthro with us. Nothing wrong with that. And I guess we will fight the boss. Collecting a lot thanks to Contract from Below. Way ahead of schedule. Just slow it down a little bit. I want to kind of avoid this narrative that like, oh, I'm playing so badly, but the game's gifting me wins. Because I do think that, you know, as true as that may be in this situation, when you start saying it and repeating it, it kind of becomes destructive. Because, you know, in your head, you're like, oh, I'm playing badly at the game. And then you kind of like, I gotta do well in this room. You put a little too much pressure on yourself. You do badly on that room. And you're like, I suck. What happens? Blah, blah, blah. Instead, you know, let's just, you know, take the situation as it comes. Not fear too much. Take a little bit of the pressure off, and then, you know, re-diagnose ourselves in a little bit, see how it's going. I would love to buy a Spirit Heart on the shop to give us access to the Mob Trap Room, which is a boss trap room, without making myself feel like we have a considerable chance of, you know, death and destruction and oblivion starring Tom Cruise in the process here. 35 cents. It's really only going to get better, unless we spend money, in which case it'll get worse, and then it'll get better eventually after that. Do we need this? No. So we know for sure we're at 3 HP then. So we'll try to... Nope, no secret room there. We will not try to get into that room. Instead, we'll just go straight into the curse room. 2 bombs. Kind of striking out on Spirit Hearts. That's about it. I just, like, I want to go into the curse room, but I don't want to be on 1 red heart, just in case a boss wings me, you know? It's just a little too dicey, right? We've already, I didn't even need to do it that way. I think we're going to ignore the Mob Trap Room, and by ignore the Mob Trap Room, I mean totally go to it, so let's do that. Oh, we can't, even. We did get a Spirit Heart. I mean, I expected there to be a Blood Bank in there. Alright. A little sloppy, but no worries. We got out of here. Burned off a, you know, pretty punishing deal with the devil penalty regardless. We were very unlikely to get a deal with the devil anyway. And we got a Spirit Heart to protect our interests on the next floor. Life's Good by Joe Walsh. Curse of the Blind. We have had like 0 curseless floors. Mind you, we've also had Lump of Coal, Polyphemus, Piercing Shots, etc., etc., so... You know, far be it for me to complain a little bit. That's one of those English sentences that you just have to remember. Because I was working it through in my head just there, trying to figure out where my, you know, error was. I was like, what does that sentence even mean? Far be it from me. It's a sentence that is said in modern times occasionally. But if J.R.R. Tolkien wrote it as Gandalf the Grey's, you know, defining line, you'd be like, that's some stupid old English stuff right there. Right there. But it's not. That's just the English language. I'm pretty stoked to, like, eventually, like, Mark Zuckerberg is just going to design a language that everybody speaks, right? And that's, I'm not making a snarky comment about that language being selfies of your lunch. And that's going to be an awesome time, I think. You know, you lose a lot of culture is going to be erased, a lot of history is going to be lost, but at the same time, you know, when you go to Facebook, you won't have to click on that See Translation button. And then the translation always ends up only being like 60% accurate, and you're like, ugh, technology's just not ready. Lemon Mishap. Okay, I don't know why this floor seems dead set on making me piss myself, but I'm not that kind of guy. At least buy me dinner first. Oh, we have fun here. Wow. That's pretty excellent. We get to complete our Eternal Heart. Not like we're likely to find a blood bank or something that could have cost us that Eternal Heart to begin with, but it's nice to have. You know, gives us... It technically does give us a little bit more fuel for a deal with the devil, if necessary, but we probably want to perhaps avoid... Magic Fingers is not that good. We want to avoid spending that much HP on a deal with the devil to begin with. Alright, I'm going to donate, because clearly the game seems dead set on just giving me spacebar items when I already have a spacebar item that I want to keep now and forever. But we are getting faster and faster. I can't really complain about the last few items, like Fate gave us the ability to fly and HP. Coat Hanger gave us a nice Tears upgrade. As did Skinny Odd Mushroom, even though it lowered our damage. You know, we don't need to go back to the dark times of, you know, a year and a half ago where I go on 45-minute long treatises about whether Skinny Odd Mushroom is the right play or the wrong play to take. Spoilers, I think it's the right play. Tammy's Head. Great item. Love Tammy's Head. Unfortunately, it's not in our, you know, best interest right now. Diplopia is a little more fun. And I got this whole redemption angle I'm working on right now. I used Diplopia poorly recently. Now it's time to make up for that. Hopefully. In the future. I must have missed some Tinted Rocks. Like, the expected value of the... I guess I'm not going to finish that sentence before we get teleported. Bob's Curse. Probably, you know, one of the worst red chest items except for, like, Curse of the Tower. But it is free, so I can't really complain. If only I'd known what it was, I could have used this Perthrow rune to reroll it. But that's asking for the world, I suppose. The expected number of Tinted Rocks on a given Isaac run is probably, like, 5. And I think we've had 1. Mind you, it gave us Small Rock. We might have had 2 now that I think about it. But still, a little on the low side. But if they want to, you know, stack those up towards the back end, which is also the title of the memoirs from my rap career, then by all means, do so. Just make sure the payout happens eventually. Or you know what? I feel confident on this run. Give me 2 Tinted Rocks on this run. Give me, you know, 8 on the next one. Odds are I'll need them there. But I'm still having flashbacks to that terrible capitulation that I had on that Isaac run semi-recently, where I was like, oh, we're gonna win, oh, I took too many deals with the devil because I'm an amateur and I died, you know. It was a very bad situation. That's not gonna be it. It was a very bad situation for all involved, and by all involved, I mean, you know, predominantly myself alone. Little Gish is like... The more I play Isaac, the more I'm, like, not excited about Little Gish. It's a cool Easter egg, and it's not a useless familiar, but at the same time, you're like, man, I was really hoping for, like, a fallen fight or something. Instead, we get Little Gish, of course, and we've seen our deal with the devil. So it's really down to the next floor, and, you know, in a little bit of boring fashion, not to turn you off from this run, we are, like, exactly on schedule for boss rush. And it's not a bad thing, but it is kind of, like, a bit of a boring thing. It's not like we have to play super fast on this floor. We can really stop and smell the roses, and the luck upgrade is really nice there. Hopefully, this gives us the ability to get some sweet stuff going. Honestly, like, we basically broke even there. We got a red heart out of it, but I'm kind of happy that at least it turned out to have a red heart in it, so I'm not scared of this room. We should be able to get more HP back on the floor, and I'd like to play the blood bank even more if possible, but I was hoping for Guppy items, and we've really, like, we've thrown some HP away to curse rooms. We've, you know, gone to mob trap rooms. Guppy is just not coming to fruition right now. That's a really, really useful demon judgment, though. We have no syringes, but, you know, I'll take any syringe that he's gonna give me. I'll take ceremonial robes. I can't think of bad items that demon judgment has. There's, like, some not so amazing ones, but does Demon Judgment actually have any items where when you get it, you're like, this is horrible? I'm not sure. Not in vanilla, anyway. Like, with Chaos or something, maybe, but... Okay. What we do not have right now is a teleport card, so... It might be for the best for us to have full HP going into the Deal with the Devil boss rush combo here. Probably true, like, in any situation, but... And I know I said that, you know, as I left 4 HP, or 2 HP behind, 4 half hearts. But don't worry your pretty little head over that just yet. We're going to get you home to Tyson in your cozy tiger bed. First, I just want to see if we've got a chance at a black market. And, I mean, there is a chance. It's worth using a bomb, but a little bit on the low side, unfortunately. Still got item room and shop available as well. And I think we can probably beat Mom in pretty quick fashion here. So I'm not going to go to the boss fight just yet. And I'm not going to sweat it. I think as long as we have like 20 seconds, it should be conceivable. The more time we have, the merrier, of course. Super Greed will slow us down, but not by a ton. And at this point, we really only need the keys. Hearts are good. So I'd say we have about a minute to find our item room and still feel safe about boss rush. And there's basically, at least from my perspective, there's no chance that we don't find the item room within the next minute or so. Because, I mean, there you go. Do we go to the curse room, though? I think we just go to the curse room and don't even worry about, like, secret room ramifications. Poison shots are good, but I think we double down and try to get something even better here. Blood of the Martyr is just okay, even though it is damage. Undefined is fine. I'm not going to bother picking it up, though. Able, not interested. Okay, we should have gone with the poison, probably, and after that we should have gone Blood of the Martyr, but you can do worse than Little Chubby. I'm not going to take these pills because it's just going to cost me time, and we're going to make sure that we go through to boss rush here. Yeah, that was a misplay on the reroll, but you know, it's like it's like the inverse of good poker strategy. You're swinging for the fences, you know, you're going for homers and a chance to get a walk-off grand slam instead of just trying to do like a sack fly. One is actually statistically probably a lot better, but in our situation, I felt like it was kind of worth going for there. Don't sweat it, don't sweat it, sweat it, start sweating it. We don't need to sweat it, we made it. Oh man, this is like horrible. Okay, I think we tried this. We try per throw first, and then we go, you know what, some of these items are okay. And then we double them. What do we take 2 of? I think it makes the most sense to take 2 little Gerties. So you grab the ones on the outside first. Like grab Holy Light, grab that. That one's on the inside. So grab that one, grab that one. And then, so we got 4 free items there. One of which is Holy Light, which is excellent. And then we want a second, I mean we could take a second set of bombs, but I think we take a second little Gertie. Just for shits and giggles. And if it hits, it'll do a decent amount of damage. Now it's all about just like not dying, effectively. We'll get one more item at the end of this. Was this the right use of Diplopia? Well, in the end, you know, Diplopia it's about probability. Or it's guided by probability. You can't really say that this was the best until we know at the end, but sometimes even the right decision mathematically can be the wrong decision when it comes to the actual results in this situation. So, I think that we made a sound decision that had a decent amount of good logic behind it. So, I'm not going to beat myself up over this one. Unless we die on boss rush and then it turns out that boss rush in general was the wrong decision. In which case, it's a bummer. Okay. Preventable damage is what we're worried about the most here. If we can just stay away from that, there's no concerns. We might want to throw down some bombs from time to time. Did a really good job on these guys. I mean, it is just Larry Jr., but even though Little Gertie doesn't, like, seem to be that good, like double Little Gertie, kind of like, you know, what should we have gone with apart from that? There's nothing that really, like, excites me that much. We could have gotten 5 extra bombs that wouldn't have changed the actual effectiveness of the bombs. We could have gotten an extra key beggar, which I think actually makes... how is that Hopper still alive? We could have gotten an extra key beggar, which actually makes the first key beggar worse. But it was definitely better than, you know, doubling up on Eve's Mascara. You know, Eve's Mascara times 2 Polyphemus. Damage would be ridiculous. Rate of fire would actually be, like, catastrophically slow. Now, we should really, like, avoid taking more damage. Come on, man. Are you serious? There we go. Okay, and he's actually far away, which is great. Land one holy light shot, please. I'm not necessarily salty about it, but I will be if we lose. Old bandage plus luck upgrades. Thanks a lot for all the red hearts you've given me on boss rush here. Really appreciate it. And by all the red hearts you've given me on boss rush, I mean all freaking 0 of them. We might only be like just past halfway too, so you know, just stay loose. It helps to be loose when you're fighting the angels, just so you can, you know, have a chance to respond to the patterns that they give you. This was really good. No complaints. Small complaint. Well, we got through the annoying phase of the brownie fight regardless, so you know, if we can just land like a holy light shot on this guy, he is done. Oh my god, he threaded the needle. Our speed is high enough that this room doesn't worry me too much. Alright, I feel like I've gotten my sea legs underneath me again. Piercing shots make it super easy to kill Mask of Infamy as long as we don't get, you know, caught out of position. Angel statue should probably go first. Oh, that was a great freaking shot. When did Gertie start shooting so quickly? I don't buy it, dude. Who is our other boss here? Is it Mega Mob? No, it's Duke of Flies. Okay, never fear. Holy Light also is awesome with piercing shots because we get the Holy Light effect on every enemy that it encounters. And Deadshot is an awesome pickup, or Dead Eye, sorry. How many times in a row have I been calling this Deadshot? That's embarrassing. Either way, good item. Good for our purposes. Just don't totally shit it up here on the womb, and we should have a good time. I don't know if Dead Eye is actually really bad with piercing shots, because all of our shots are technically going to miss eventually. But I'm going to go ahead and suggest that no, it's actually awesome. If we fire quickly enough, we certainly get the advantage out of it. Alright, so we're on the womb 1. We appear to have stemmed the bleeding a little bit. What do we do to win here? Well, continuing to not, like, totally shit up our damage taken is a positive thing. I would say probably we don't do the Hush fight. Might vary depending on our deal with the devil prospects the next 2 floors, but I'm not considering that a normal win condition here. I think it's a really good sign, though, how quickly we're able to steamroll these rooms, and getting back to full HP is nice, although a half-heart interval would be, you know, good for its own reasons as well. We don't have scapular or anything, right? The gauze. Useful. But I almost feel like at this point, if we're not relying on a deal with the devil, we'd rather use the gauze to purge a particularly annoying curse. Like a Curse of the Unknown only really affects me mentally and when it comes to deals with the devil, but still, I would rather use that to purge than to give us, like, a better deal with the devil chance on this floor, I think. And I think that's, like, a playing the players sort of decision, you know? Like, on paper, the best play is to, use it to manipulate the game constraints to some extent. But in reality, she had a hidden agenda. She put my tender Dagaz in a blender, and still I surrender to her. Hey. No, but, you know, sometimes... You know, I'm sure Michael Jordan, they were like, hey, Michael Jordan, shoot the basket, shoot the ball in the basket. But he's like, no, I'm shooting a miss. And he's got 6 NBA championships. You might say that analogy makes no sense. That's a great point. I hadn't considered that. And I defer to your wisdom on the matter. Well, Guppy's head, by the way. Super stoked. And we got a Spirit Heart for free. We haven't taken damage on this floor. We've explored nearly everything. This maybe has been the best floor for us in the game, and it's really just RNG on our side giving us some sweet payouts. So Skolex is already dead. And we get Dark Matter and Brimstone. I think that I'll probably take both of those. They seem like positive items for us. Now, we're really low on HP, but we just upped our damage to like an absurd degree. I'm going to purge Curse of the Blind just because... I think that, you know, if we get a deal with the devil here, I really don't want to go out on a lark. You could say, just don't take anything, and then there's probably a lot of validity to that, but, you know, that's not the kind of player I tend to be, I think. Good news is with, well, there is no bad news to offer here, but the especially good news is that I should be able to generate, like, a lot of flies, as a result of the fact that I'll kill most enemies as soon as we enter the room. Like, it almost looks like we have Guppy, because the fly economy is so strong. If we can generate 2 per room, that's going to be like an unlosable advantage for us as we get further and further into the game. But probably the bosses will cull that advantage, but it'll cull that advantage by turning it into an advantage for us regardless, so. We're just doing some linguistic gymnastics now. Certainly not worth fighting the Hush in our present HP standpoint, but oh well. We did have a lot of money. We could have made that work. Alright. What's the tail of the tape right now? Really, this run is in my hands. RNG has hooked me up. All we need to do is not, like, inconceivably fuck it up. Sorry, inconceivably fart it up. I'm trying to work on my cursing a little bit. I'm not really trying to work on my I don't know how many times this has come up in recent videos, but you know, I do think it when you're in your, you know, teens, 20s, cursing's like, I'm not going to say it's a badge of pride, but you're like, check it out, I'm a legal adult, I can swear. But as you start to get a little older, I mean, I'm not in my 30s yet, but I'm approaching my late 20s. I'm about to get off of the mid-20s highway and onto the exit that takes you to late 20s Avenue. Before you get to, you know, 30s Parkway and, of course, you know, 60s and 70s Boulevard. It comes off like a little uncreative, a little classless, you know? Unless you're a stand-up comedian, in which case, by all means. We don't really care about that in the least. It's always nice to find a crawl space, but, like, a crawl space is, like, the most overrated thing to find. Because in your head, immediately, at least for me, I immediately go, oh, black market. And then how many times is it actually a black market versus like 6 pennies on the ground? But, you know, maybe like 5% of the time. When it's a black market, it's awesome and it opens up all sorts of, you know, new gameplay space. But when it's just like a trinket, it's like, I'm kind of the opinion that a really easy mod to make for Isaac that would improve enjoyment a little bit, even though it would make the game easier, which is going to be, you know, heretical for a lot of people, is crawl spaces are rare enough, amp up the chance to make them have an item. Or just make them always have an item if they don't have a black market. How many, the average player, how many crawl spaces do you find per run? You know, like 0.2? Maybe like once every 5 runs you get a crawl space, once every 3 runs, something like that. Just give them a free item. And then if you get the stud finder, have a great time. Enjoy yourself. We will just redo this whole floor. Goodbye, Guppy's head. It was fun while it lasted. And we got okay stuff, like Leech is okay, Friendly Ball, I don't know. We could try to use this creatively. We can't capture bosses, but we can capture non-boss enemies. I guess, yeah, Keybagger should take all of our keys at this point. These are still bosses, unfortunately. How many rooms on the chest don't have bosses in them? It's gotta be a lowish number. Like, still bosses. There might be some that have a mix of bosses and non-bosses, at least. I'll tell you what, though. For now... No, you know what? For now, let's take Friendly Ball. I want to try to make it work, man. What are we gonna... We're gonna trade in a chance at some cool Friendly Ball action for Crack the Sky, which once every 4 rooms, I'm gonna be like, that was okay. Nah, I'd rather get nothing out of Friendly Ball but have the chance. A single spider is not worth it. Nor is credit card, unfortunately. A little too late for that to matter. Like, it's not like we're in a dangerous position on this run. Let's try to make Friendly Ball work. This one's for you, Niantic. Niantic! 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 Pokemon Go. Yeah, any fans of Pokemon Go and the Pixies out there? Probably only like 11 or 12 million, so it's a pretty narrow subset for that joke to make sense. This... They need to make an incredibly niche version of Saturday Night Live that's about 80s indie rock and video games. And then I've found my niche for writing song parodies, man. That sounds like a 3-figure-a-year job. Niantic. That's gonna be stuck in my head. I mean, if you don't know the song Gigantic by the Pixies, you probably... Oh, these are real enemies who I broke and then broke again and missed with the friendly ball. You should go check out Gigantic by the Pixies. It's about a dude who has a especially large penis, but it's also like a really... It's hooky. And I don't mean like that to be a play on words to do with, you know, prostitution or something. It's just... It's a catchy song with a killer bass line. Kim Deal on the pipes and Frank Black bringing the harmony. You know what, dude? I don't even care at this point. Now that I've missed with Friendly Ball, the rest of this run is, like, literally meaningless to me, so just fucking turn it off. I don't care. Subscribe if you want to see more or whatever. I guess that's what people like me say on a regular basis, but for now. But in reality... Okay, well, we are not going to get to use, like, Friendly Ball at all. And I'm actually, you know what? There's a little drama as we come to the end of this run. We've only got 4 HP, so we can only get hit 3 times. We got Pisces for a Tears upgrade, which is good. Kidney Bean is not great, but at least, you know, it's a single use on the chest. Or on the boss fight, I should say. Try to get Steam Sale out of these guys. That'll be really useful right now. Okay, let's do it. Pop the Devil card, obviously. Almost... ruined the Devil card and Kidney Bean thanks to Curse of the Maze. There we go. I don't know why I wasted Kidney Bean there, but it's not like Friendly Ball would have been better, so... Niantic. It's the best note I've ever hit. Alright. Thanks for watching. This is a fun run. You know, decent Diplopia plays. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Niantic.